Hello, Westford. I'm Ira Keltz. This week in Westford, the school committee held their last meeting until the fall. A new recycling company is set to come to your curb. And we sit down with the town's drug enforcement officer. From Nadnasset to Parker Village, it's time for WestfordCAT News. We begin our program with news that'll hit parents' wallets next fall. In a unanimous decision, the Westford School Committee voted to raise school lunch prices for the first time in 3 years. Lunches in all Westford public schools will see a 50-cent increase, with marginal increases for dessert and milk as well. Westford School Department Food Service Coordinator Colleen Wallace indicated that the price hikes were needed for equipment upgrades as well as preparation for the town's polystyrene ban, which will begin on July 1st, 2017. Approximately 2/3 of students bought lunches on an average day this year. That number is expected to drop, but Superintendent Bill Olson still supported the decision.
Been minimal. It's important for us to be able to replace our equipment in the cafeteria program also because some of that is aging and certainly subject to electrical mechanical failure and deterioration. So it is fair. And I have to say, you know, whether it's in the classroom or in the food service program, it's all in the quality of people that you hire. And we've had a great staff who have done very creative things with our food and very good things in the recipes, working along with Colleen. And our participation rate has grown substantially over the last 3 to 4 years. And so do we anticipate a slight decline in that as a result of raising lunch prices? That has been the historical trend, not only in Westford but in other school systems. But it still represents a terrific bargain for the consumer.
The school committee also heard preliminary results from a study researching how marijuana affects learning. Just over a year ago, Dr. Randy Schuster of MGH, Mass General Hospital, asked for permission to conduct this study, which gathered students already using marijuana and asking some of them to stop before beginning a series of cognitive tests. After parents were given an opportunity to opt out their children, hundreds of potential participants in the study were narrowed down to 24. 12 non-marijuana users, 6 marijuana users who were enticed to stop with financial incentives, and 6 marijuana users that were not given incentives to stop. According to Schuster, the non-marijuana users and the recent quitters had comparable scores, while those who continued using marijuana actually regressed in some areas. The participants' identities were kept anonymous as part of the study. Schuster hopes to return to Westford Academy this fall to expand the study. She also aims to head to other high schools and conduct a study in Boston with college-age students. Staying on the topic of drugs, WestfordCAT News Director Andrew Sylvia recently sat down in our studios with Westford's Drug Prevention Officer Ray Peachy. The two talked on a variety of topics stemming from the recent DEA drug bust here in town. Here are some of the highlights.
Hello, I'm Andrew Sylvia, News Director here at WestfordCAT. I'm here with Ray Peachy. Ray is the person in charge of drug prevention here in Westford. He works with the Board of Health. And as you may know, recently there was a big drug bust here in Westford. Ray, I know you can't talk to us about that, right, but you can talk about drugs in general and some of the things related to that bust.
They got butane honey oil.
What is butane honey oil?
It's an extract from marijuana, the THC that's in the marijuana. And it's when they extract it, it makes it much more powerful. The you smoke a marijuana cigarette right now, they're up to 14-15% of THC, okay? You do this butane honey oil and it's 80 to 90% of the THC. So you're gonna get it faster as well as you're gonna get it a bigger high. You have to be careful of it. Making butane honey oil is very dangerous, and if anybody wanted to go on YouTube, you can just see some of the explosions that's happened. But I can tell you how it's basically made is you take marijuana, you put it in a tube, and you have a bowl underneath Then you take butane and you pour it, and you keep pouring it over the marijuana leaves. That goes down, and that takes the THC out of the marijuana plant. So now you have it in a bowl, and then you boil it off. What happens is you also, don't forget, you're boiling it off, butane.
Opioids are a big issue nowadays.
Yes.
How does butane honey oil compare to opioids, and how big of an issue is opioids around here?
Around here, it's, you know how I compare it to? We move to Westford, all the areas around us, to try and get away from the hardcore drug users, et cetera, all right? So if we have 1 or 2 problems, it's a big problem, you know, as far as I'm concerned, all right? Now,
So how does the danger with butane honey oil extracts compare to the opioid?
Well, it's basically still marijuana, okay? So as of right now, the best we know is that it will not get you, well, I can't say it won't get you addicted. The studies still have to be done. But you should not perish from it, okay? It's just a stronger version of it that you can smoke.
Are there any other big drug issues here in Westford? Is cocaine an issue? Are there any
The
other?
biggest one that we have in general is heroin right now, okay? And because heroin at the present time is cheaper than marijuana. So that is really becoming it. And fentanyl, unfortunately, is starting to become very big, and that is a very dangerous drug. You know, that is, I mean, it's a legal drug when used properly for operations and different things they do in the hospital. But it is like 50 times more potent than morphine, let's say. So it really is there, you know, and they're putting these things on, you know, on in the opiate when they make it, you know, and they're doing whatever they can get you hooked on it. You know, once you're hooked on it, it's hard to get off.
You mentioned prescription drugs. How big of an issue is that in Westford? Are you seeing that?
To know exactly how much, again, that would be the police department that you know has all that figures. But I know that it is being used. It is, and I can tell you different ways that if you're going to sell your house, if you really you're going to have an open house, people will come into the house. You usually leave the house when you do that. So people are free to roam the house. They go into a medicine cabinet. They take, you know, a third or half a bottle of your medications, and they put it in their pocket.
To see the full interview with Ray Peachy, you can go to our YouTube channel, WestfordCAT. Westford's Open Space and Recreation Master Plan is set to expire this December. The seeds of what comes next may have been planted recently at the J.V. Fletcher Library. Town employees and local residents gathered to participate in a kickoff meeting to discuss ideas on what to include in a new master plan. In addition to providing a blueprint for town government's recreation policies, having a master plan also aids the town if it decides to seek recreation and open space grants from the state. After preliminary results from a survey asking residents for their views on recreation in town, attendees broke into groups to discuss 6 separate goals that will form the backbone of a new master plan. The event was hosted by Westford Assistant Town Planner Danielle Evans, who felt the evening was beneficial toward helping the town meet those goals.
I'm very happy with the diversity of people that came out. There's people that were representing different boards and commissions, as well as ordinary citizens that are interested in it. And so I thought we got a lot of good input, really good feedback. So I'm going to gather all that information and start to update the plan.
Results from surveys on what local residents want recreation-wise are expected to be released soon. What's going on around town? Here's Sarah Fletcher with some events to put on your calendar.
Thanks, Ira. In case you missed it, the Westford Farmers Market returned last week and will be on the Town Common every Tuesday from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. The final day for the market isn't until October, and you can learn more at sustainablewestford.org. Hundreds of motorcycles are coming to East Prescott Street, and if you live in Forge Village, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, they're revving up for the annual Tyler Ride on Saturday, July 9th. Now in its 17th year, Motorcycle enthusiasts of all kinds come to the VFW to help Tyler Ricard, a young man with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. Registration takes place from 8 to 9:45 a.m., with the motorcyclists leaving on their trip across Massachusetts and New Hampshire at 10 a.m. sharp. It costs $20 to register. For more information, email janet@tylerride.com. The annual Run and Walk for Live will take place on Saturday, July 17th at the 4-H Fairgrounds on South Middlesex Road. In addition to bike rides, runs, and walks traversing neighboring towns, there's also plenty of activities ranging from face painting and crafts to make your own sundae bar. The event honors Olivia Marchand, a Westford resident who lost her life during a domestic violence incident. More information is available at liveforlive.com. And last but not least, Peter Christoph returns to the J.V. Fletcher Library with a presentation showing all the tips and tricks behind the art of photographing birds in the wild. After the talk, Peter will be on hand for signing his book, simply entitled Birds. The event takes place on Thursday, July 7th at 7 p.m., and it's free. Back to you, Ira.
Thanks, Sarah. The Board of Selectmen just held their last meeting for the month of June, and here's Patty Stalker with more.
Drew Gardens was back on the docket as the Board of Selectmen heard legal opinions about the property from Town Council Greg Corbo. Corbo explained the differences between disposal and amendment of the agricultural preservation restriction on the property. He also warned the board that any agreements the town makes with property owner Ebi Masaladon should include provisions regarding legal liability companies.
It's not an issue that I have exhaustively researched, and to be perfectly frank with you, I'm not going to sit here in a public meeting and with the property owner likely listening and say that the town will sit idly by and allow transfers of the LLC to be transferred out from under us without us seriously looking at whether or not that triggers the right of first refusal.
There was also further discussion over why the town meeting and the town's various boards should allow a restaurant on the former Drew Gardens property. On one side, there were views from those such as Boston Road resident Bob Krankowitz. He noted that the restaurant would qualify as a major commercial project under the town's zoning bylaws, which are not allowed in residentially zoned areas, such as the Drew Gardens property. On the other side were people like Selectman Kelly Ross, who believed that Masaladon's offer was the best route to put the land back into agricultural use.
My reasoning was there was a business there as a farm stand, store, whatever you want to call it. And so replacing it with another business, I could see a certain logic to that. Perhaps the original proposal was way too big, and hopefully we'll see something of a more appropriate size. I also remember at the time the property was being used as a leaf dumping operation, and we were very concerned about that. We were concerned about the appearance of it. We were concerned about potential contaminants that were being brought in. We took them to court over that, and the end result was if they just spread the leaves all around, it's fine. So now we have potentially contaminated leaf dumping going on and potentially continuing to go on indefinitely unless we took an action. And this seemed like an action that could resolve that problem.
Two abutters were also named to the Drew Gardens Task Force. We'll have more on this story as it develops. For WestfordCAT, I'm Patty Stalker.
On July 1st, Republic Services will become Westford's new municipal recycling provider, taking over for integrated paper recyclers. Recycling and trash has to be at the curb no later than 7 a.m. on pickup days, and cardboard must be cut up into sizes no larger than 3 feet by 3 feet. For questions, call 1-800-442-9006 or email Greg Johnson at westfordma.gov. Here at WestfordCAT, we recently held our annual membership meeting, recapping what's happened over the past year. Hosted by yours truly, we held an official ribbon cutting for our new expansion and looked back at a busy 2015. In those 12 months, the station had 162 episodes of 20 locally produced shows, including 52 Cat Track segments. There were also 19 homegrown specials and 106 local government meetings. Here at WestfordCAT News, we had just under 20 shows and over 1,000 articles and announcements that were seen by just under 175,000 people. Awards were also given to Ed Cohen, Nikki Penta, Joe Seppi, and Rekha Sharma. Executive Director Lauren Horton also gave details on upcoming improvements, such as a new website for the station that launches on June 28th, and the new fiber optic infrastructure that will allow live coverage of events from more places in town.
Well, I was really impressed with the people that came and the enthusiasm that they showed in all the things that we're doing. People liked what they saw. We've come a long way, and they really recognized that, and had some great ideas for new programming, and we hope to put them together in the coming year.
We're looking to make 2016 even better, and we'd love to have you be a part of it. For more information, call us at 978-692-7152, head to westfordcat.org, or come to our studios at 487 Groton Road. We've got another health tip with our very own Rekha Sharma.
Hello everyone, I'm Rekha Sharma, back with a new health tip for WestfordCAT News. Ayurveda is a science of life, helping you heal and build immunity in natural ways. Today I'm going to talk about sesame. Sesame is a rich source of high protein. 1 ounce of sesame has 4.7 grams of protein. Sesame oil improves oral health by removing dental plaque. By doing oil pulling, which involves swishing oil around in your mouth, you can boost your oral health. It also helps to prevent diabetes and reduces blood pressure and promotes respiratory health, as it is a rich source of magnesium. It also promotes heart health because of the presence of antioxidant, anti-inflammatory compound sesamol. It prevents cancer as it has anti-cancer compounds, and also improves bone health. It also improves skin health and elasticity as it is full of zinc. So add some sesame seeds and oil to your cooking to get the benefits. If you have any medical conditions, please contact your healthcare provider before consuming. I will be back with a new health tip. Bye for now.
And our very own Joe Seppi is here with this week's weather forecast.
Hello, Westford. This is Sarah Seppi with the weather forecast for this weekend and the week of July 4th. Here's what's coming up. On Saturday, we will see partly sunny skies and a high of 87 degrees and a low of 58 degrees. On Sunday, it will be partly cloudy during the day and clear at night. There will be a warm high of 85 and a low of 58. Happy 4th of July, everybody. The skies will be mainly sunny on Monday with a high of 87 degrees and a low of 57 degrees. On Tuesday, it is going to be mostly sunny again. The high will be 89 degrees and the low will be around 60. On Wednesday, the heat kicks in with partly sunny skies and a high of 92 degrees and a low of 62 degrees. On Thursday, the heat continues with partly cloudy skies. The high may reach 98 degrees again, and the low will be around 61 degrees. On Friday, there will be intervals of clouds and sunshine with possible rain showers at night. The high will be around 88 degrees, and the low will be around 61 degrees. That was the Westford weather. Have a great week, everyone.
And that's all for this edition of WestfordCAT News. Have a happy 4th of July, Westford. We'll be back with another show in the second week of July. In the meantime, we leave you with a look at our 2016 Summer Video Camp. We'll see you next time, Westford.